How's it going everyone, it's Vivi and welcome back to another MediEvil PS4 video. The game has gone gold, folks. Other Ocean, the developer for this remake, on Twitter shared this picture. For those of you who are not familiar with the term Gold Master, it means the game has finished development, and the master copy, this CD right here, is ready to get copied. Does this mean Sony will start actually marketing the game? We don't know. If you've seen my previous vids, we've only seen posters already up at some GameStop stores. Other than that, MediEvil has been popping up at certain gaming conventions. We had GameXP, this event in Brazil back in late July, that was part of the previous video. We had some off-screen footage. Recently, more off-screen footage and on-screen have surfaced. Gamescom, which happened between August 20th and August 24th in Germany, well about that one. User Gaming Boulevard. Unfortunately, this was recorded from a great distance. I hope by zooming in it won't look too blurry, but I'll give it a try. I believe that's the Graveyard and Cemetery Hill. We got our first look at the remade cutscene with Zarek at the intro of Cemetery Hill. They removed the old text box, and the full dialogue now fits on one screen. Like, instead of two sentences with two text boxes, we have the whole thing on screen. I've noticed a camera issue at Cemetery Hill right here at the boulder section, when Zarek summons his enemies on the top level. Hopefully they fix this. I mean, it's still a demo, right? By the way, the lava boulder now looks better, and the original looked like a bunch of meatballs. Looking at this thing overall, it appears to be the same build as the one from July. Technically, I could be wrong, but the font color of the HUD is still the same. Orange over orange and green over green, which doesn't look great. Hopefully they change that. As for the books, in the story trailer, one little detail I've noticed from the state of play and this footage, the book would sit vertically before, but now it's flat. That was an older build, I believe, the story trailer from State of Play. The stained glass demon is one way of showing it. The lighting and all that. A kind user on Reddit shared a few screenshots of a character log. You can notice on the left, Morton the Earthworm, and yes, there's a screenshot for that. Morton was the worm living inside Dan's skull in the first game. He was supposed to have his own level, steal a door key for Dan. It was part of a full motion video, FMV for short, which was unused in the final product. And this one, the 10th one, which was part of the final product, it was intended to be a full-fledged level, originally. In terms of cut content, like Morton's level for example, some of you might wonder, are they considering cut content? Well, I'm not saying they confirmed cut content, right? Back in May, Nika Cordina on PlayStation Blog mentioned they're adding a whole casket full of secrets. Another article by Polygon, posted on September 4th, basically goes over camera comparison, how the original struggled, you know, the developers weren't used to 3D back then. Back to the point, Other Ocean has wisely stuck closely to the script of the original, adding only a few secrets that were omitted from the original due to time constraints. They also reconfirmed that some old recordings are being used. This was first confirmed via a tweet back in May by executive producer. PlayStation Access shared a snippet of Hall of Heroes, the second floor, and the statues look so good. Part of this looks to be the build from Gamescom, with no HUD. The lighting and boss compared to the story trailer, it's at least as new as the one we had at Gamescom. Plus, the stained glass demon this time now falls to the floor, on its stomach like the original, and explodes, as opposed to just being hit on its knees and, you know, exploding. Rosie on PlayStation Access's video, the girl on the right, points out how the gargoyles' voices sounded the same. There you go. Old recordings were already confirmed. More off-screen footage from Gamescom from user Every Eye. This time we see the selection screen. Lighter background, the camera angle is now aligned to the center. This footage looks to be 60 FPS. We got no clue if it's capped or uncapped. If you aren't sure of those terms, basically it means, is the FPS solid or will it vary? As for the resolution, well, 4K got confirmed a while back with the teaser trailer. Dan's Crypt, the camera now slowly pans towards the gargoyle. There's no more text box. I love the attention to the detail in this area. The stained glass behind his crypt slaying a dragon, his face on his crypt, and you can now re-enter this area. In the original, you'd get thrown out, let's say, and the doors would shut behind you. There is no render of Dan before we enter the world map. we quickly transition to the world map. The map now looks 3D, but the save game option is not there. Is this something that has to do with autosave maybe? Entering a level, the camera now zooms in. When using runes, you now have text appear on screen, which I guess helps the player understand what the heck just happened. Another off-screen recording by said TV, Hilltop Asylum. The place looks much brighter. You can now see what lies at the end of the corridor. There's a snippet of the inventory. Instead of just select, we have select primary or secondary. The link to this Reddit post will be in the description below if you want to watch the whole thing. Des & Fox, another user. There's more off-screen footage at PAX West this time. We have our first look at the pause menu. As for the differences, apart from, design, accessibility, I believe, is a new option. I've also noticed that load screens now have small descriptions of the levels you enter, which is pretty cool. By the way, here's a part for one of the statues, Kenny Tim, animated. The camera now moves around while speaking to these statues. Lovely addition they added, it gives more life to the scene. I love how Sir Dan is more animated now, after that remark from Kenny Tim. Oh, and no more dialogue box for will you accept. Lastly, there's on-screen gameplay from TGS, Tokyo Game Show 2019. It's all in Japanese, and yes, this game was listed to appear at Tokyo Game Show. One thing I wanted to point out about this one, Dan doesn't have his helmet. Originally in the Japanese version, he had one. Apparently skeletons were considered like bad spirit in Japan. It now appears to be a collectible on the right side of his crypt when you re-enter it. Is this one of the secrets they were referring to from the articles? What do you think? I've read some people disliking the smoky effect when swinging his arm, or the particle effect after every kill. I don't mind it, but the way I would have gone with it, the first swing make it dusty, but not for the remainder until some couple of seconds have passed, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like if you're spanning his arm, swinging it around all the time, the dust will stop eventually. The Merchant Gargoyle eating gold is a lovely addition. And if you listen closely to the music, if you watched the on-screen gameplay of TGS, which I will leave the link in the description below, the music lowers in volume in some sections and the tone changes a bit, hinting at dynamic music. Bob and Barn, the original composers, are back for remastered tracks, by the way. Here's what they had to say. This was back then, a while ago. Sony America contacted us in early 2018 as we couldn't fit it in our schedule until later in the year. This gave us the time to discuss an approach. This 64 million question: how do you take a non-interactive score from 1998 and update it to an interactive score for 2019, but yet still have it sound like the first game, which Sony were very keen on doing? A head scratcher indeed. We can't say any more at this stage, but hopefully you'll like our solution. Interactive score for 2019, they're probably implying dynamic music. Whether or not there's the option to switch between classic and dynamic, we don't know. We're yet to find out. So with that being said, guys, this is it for the video. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave it all in the comments section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you for the support. Until next time.